Please welcome this evening's guest moderator, Christine Choi from Virgin Group, and tonight's guests, Adrian Grenier and Peter Glatzer.
What's up?
Hey. Hey, guys. You promised me a good conversation, and we normally have great conversations in front of food, and now I think it's like 200 people. I'm Christine. I work at Virgin, and I've spent the last 6.5 years working with our founder, Richard Branson, who is an entrepreneur, a record mogul, a documentary filmmaker, and I think all of those things can be they can describe Adrian as well, which is why I've really enjoyed developing a friendship with Adrian and his partner, Peter. They're both filmmakers, and they both have an incredible vision for what our lifestyles should be and can be, and they make it fun doing it. I actually first learned about Shift when Virgin America launched service from the West Coast to Chicago, and Adrian and Peter joined us on that very first flight. And I think my favorite moment was when we landed at O'Hare Airport, and instead of rolling out of there in limousines, we all took public transportation. We took the train. We took CTA from O'Hare to downtown Chicago. And Virgin is starting hotels in Chicago, and so to this day, I take the CTA to get out there. And it's just like a habit that I developed thanks to you guys. So that's enough about me. Peter has been involved in independent filmmaking for quite a long time with the Lincoln Center and also with the Hampton Film Festival. And I'm really curious how the two of you met each other and found each other and started Shift. And I don't really think I have to introduce Adrian except to say that he's got an incredible documentary out right now that you can download on iTunes called How to Make Money Selling Drugs. So it's very provocative. You should definitely check it out. And if you guys are like doing anything on your phones, I hope you're downloading the app Food Tripping. I hope you're checking out Shift, and I hope you're also downloading the documentary. So either one of you can kick it off. Tell me how you guys met.
I guess about 7 years ago, Peter and I were introduced by a mutual friend, Clark Stiles, because he recognized our passion for the environment, and that we both had similar take on the best approach to solving some of the environment's worst problems. And Peter and I started talking because he had a television show concept that he wanted to pitch out in Hollywood, and he needed a face to help try and get in the door. And I happened to be on a show called Entourage, so I fit that profile. And so we, after a day of shooting this little pilot, we realized that we had so much in common that I wasn't just going to be a face anymore, that we were actually going to partner up and produce this together. And we ended up doing 13 episodes of a show called Alter Eco for Discovery, and that began our journey all the way here. You want to go from
Sure,
from
I'll
there?
take it from there. One of the things that I think Adrian and I really bonded over right from the get-go, before we did the TV show even, was the idea of reframing environmentalism and what it means and why, it's sort of, we inherited this fantastic values from our mothers, really, both of us. But there's an old school environmentalism that is separate from the lives we live, and it's separate from the way we think as human beings and interact with the world, and the way we eat, and the way we think of transportation and issues, climate change issues, what have you. And we wanted to sort of synthesize all of these things into a lifestyle brand that gave consumers options of things that they could do, whether it's food or clothing or gadgets that run on solar power or use less electricity, efficiency. So Shift became the next iteration of the TV show we did that enables us to curate for a shop and create content. We could show maybe right now, it might be a decent time, to show a piece of footage. We're both filmmakers, so we do a lot of short doc series on Shift.
And just to be clear, and I don't know if we rolled into this right, but it's shift.com, which is a website. And after we did our television show, obviously the next iteration of the medium of television was the internet, where we could then start to aggregate not only what we're doing, but what the whole entire web is doing, what the entire world is doing as well.
Yeah, and so from Shift, and we very recently, this app, Food Tripping, is our first app, and we can get to that after maybe we show the Eve Bahar video. So this is it kind of speaks for itself, but this is the kind of content we make at Shift.
Is that up on the site right now?
Not actually. This is the first time we're showing this, so it'll be up in about a week or so.
Oh, awesome. What's really cool, I think, about the Shift website is that not only do you have storytelling behind design and around architecture and art and fashion, but what you guys have essentially done is you're not telling us, don't do this, don't do that. And the reality is, there is a lot of, because of climate change, we have a scarcity of resources, but it's not going to stop us from using toilet paper. It's not going to stop us from buying stuff. We're going to keep buying stuff, and that's the reality. And what you guys have been able to do so well using Shift is to give us great design, give us great food and fashion and art, but you've done the hard work for us because you've sourced them through companies with a socially conscious mission and with a sustainability focus. And so you've done the heavy lifting for us, and we can just purchase away as we normally would using this beautiful site. So tell us how you came up with, can you tell us a little bit about the evolution from Shift? Tell us the story of Shift to food tripping. What's the connection, and how did you get into food tripping?
Well, people take road trips all the time, and it was a very nice conceit, just even from a filmmaking storytelling standpoint, to hang these values on, and just also these great, we're in the middle of a food revolution in this country right now, really, and it's fantastic. We embrace it. We have Alice Waters was one of the subjects of that series, and you're finding not just in pockets in New York and parts of Los Angeles and parts of big cities, but now you're seeing in other parts of the country organic farmers and young people getting very, very engaged with food. It's just spreading, and it's great. And I guess it was really just finding a solution to a problem, which is you're on the road and you see signs for fast food restaurants everywhere. And if you're in a strange place, you want to know where the good stuff is. So that was the impetus to food tripping. And then the other thing that occurred to us after that was, how many times are you just at home and have no clue as to what to get or where to go or how to deal with dinner because you just don't have ideas. So it became a great way to collect great food options, drink options, artisanal options. Every farmer's market in the country is in there. It just became a great place a way to convey those options, those choices, which has always been our goal.
It's also a technology story. It's what the internet has done for us. It's what Apple has done for us. It's brought us options. It's brought us closer together. It's democratized our lives and democratized, re-democratized business. So no longer do these big corporations who have all the money to spend on advertising to force their products, force their food in your lives. Do they have the monopoly? Because sure, they can afford all the signs at the exits on the highways, but now with the app like Food Tripping, you can start to discover the other options that lie just beyond the road, just in those little special towns where you can now start to support local economies. And if you're in a local economy, you can now reach out to the masses and ask them to come pass your way. So to me, it's a success story of technology and what is possible when we're trying to connect with one another on a very intimate, subtle level.
I like that the app really reflects the two of your personalities, because instead of saying, these are the alternatives to McDonald's and to whatever else, but you're saying here are a range of options cultivated by us and also crowdsourced from other people. I mean, you have a lot of options for sharing and for people to go in there and make their own suggestions. Have you guys personally thrown in some suggestions based on your road trips?
Oh yeah, definitely. And there's a suggest button on every screen of the app. So if you're somewhere and it's not listed in the app, I mean, really a big part of our push right now is to get people to participate and engage with the app and upload things that we wouldn't know about. Every town's got their great little cheesemaker or winemaker. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can that people will stumble upon, and it's great that we're encouraging very much the crowdsourcing side of it. Yeah.
Is this the first app you guys helped build and develop? Are there any lessons that you want to share? Lessons learned, things to do, things not to do?
I've done a couple. It ain't easy. It's a whole nother business, really, if you want to do it right. Lessons, well, you really want to find the right team, obviously, and again, it's about design. It's about the user experience. It could be the best idea in the world, but if people don't engage with it, if they reject it on a visceral level, it won't ever stick. So I would say, just make sure you're working with the right team, and make sure that you've done, all your pre-production, all your homework before you go out and try and make an app. And if you've never done it or you don't know about it, it does cost a couple dollars. It's not cheap. And especially if you want it to be a lasting app, it'll continue to cost money because you need a team to make sure that it's updated and that all the bugs are worked out. And you always, of course, want to make sure that it's relevant. So you want to make sure that you're coming out with new versions. So it's a lot of work. It is.
I would also say that plan for the next iteration and the next iteration, because you're always going to want to expand on it. And like Adrian said, there's always going to be something timely that you need to incorporate into your app as things come along.
I find it a little funny that we're giving advice on app making, because to the layman, they don't want to hear from us losers, but to like the professionals, they already know all this and they know a lot more than us. So yeah. I would suggest you maybe ask advice from expert app makers.
Yeah.
We're really Shift.com working with
right
app makers.
I want to give a nod also to the team that built our app.
Yeah, well, there you go, yeah.
They're called Jake Apps, and they're out of Detroit, and they're fantastic. Our Shift team designed the front end, the look and feel, but Jake Apps did a great job with the app itself, and we hope to continue to work with them on the next iterations.
Well, I think it's important that you guys are the consumers. You've experienced some sort of pain having gone on these road trips and not have enough good options. And so what you're doing is helping make it easier for people to make better choices. And I think developers need people like you guys, like ideas like this, to create something that's really going to be of sustainable value to people. So I think it's that collaboration that really that makes a difference, that makes it a worthwhile app.
Yeah, and Shift.com is a lifestyle platform. It's an experience. We have, a lot of, sort of a lot of portals to the same experience. We have a wine, for example, and we aren't wine makers, but we work with winemakers who do the best at wine making, and we bring them all together under the collective umbrella, which is Shift. And that's really what the app is as well. It's bringing a technology to that experience.
Yeah, and I was just going to say it's a very strong extension of our brand. The wine is, the app is, because it just sort of goes back to the idea of giving people options. And I just want to mention also Ford. The Ford Motor Company has been a great partner for Shift, and we did the series with them, and we made the app with them as well. And it's a company that has 5 electric vehicles made in America. They really do have this sense of sustainable values and sustainable systems and sustainable products, and it is an extension of the idea of giving consumers their options and just showing them what they are and not being prescriptive, like you said earlier, and not dictating do this. It's good for the planet, but letting people, it's idiosyncratic. It's your life. It's choices you make every day. So letting people make the decisions of what's right for them, and showing those options.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that partnership with Ford? It seems like you guys are such a nimble partnership to partner with such a big, like a behemoth, an auto behemoth like that. Was it challenging going into this, like a more of a corporate world, or were they really flexible and they just wanted you guys to run with it? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very supportive of what we're doing and believe in our, creative impulses and creative ideas. But yeah, there are times when it's slow moving with a large corporation, and you want to be more nimble. But we've done some really wonderful things with Ford, and we're very grateful. It's a good partnership.
Great. Is there, and then one last question before we take it to the audience. Do you guys have having seen a lot of like trends and ideas coming through Shift and food tripping, is there anything that really excites you right now that's happening, like a new movement that's happening, or a new product or new innovation that you're really excited about, either showcasing on your website or that you plan to, do some storytelling around?
Okay. I mean, so many things. It's hard to just pick one. But I would have to, just in staying on topic with food tripping, say that we've seen an enormous change in the culture since we started working together 7 years ago, and just the movement in food has been really exciting to watch and to document and to show on Shift. And I think technology and innovation in green energy, clean technology, is inspiring. There's so many things, and just design. It's a burgeoning marketplace. 7 years ago, we did not have the kind of options of sustainable design that Eve Bahar is showcasing and trotting out now. It just wasn't the same landscape, and to see that evolve, to see that evolution and that transition, and it's only getting better, is very exciting.
Well, I'm just going to give a shout out to our nonprofit Shift Mobile Kitchen Classroom. It's also food related, and its mission is to educate and inspire young people to take more of an active interest in what they consume, how they consume, what kind of foods they enjoy, to help battle obesity in the country. And that's been really exciting to me. It's also yet another arm of what Shift has been doing to try and reflect back into the culture some of the shifts that have been occurring, and help to boil them down and give them to young people. So I'm just going to give a shout out to Shift Mobile Kitchen Classroom. If you want to check it out, it's mobilekitchenclassroom.org.
I think it's great that the two of you are reminding us that every decision that we make, even if it's a small purchase decision, it has an effect on everything. Eve Bahar actually is one of our partners. We're doing this project called Whole World Water, where we're encouraging hotels and restaurant groups to filter their water on site to reduce plastic bottle usage. And Mr. Bahar designed beautiful recycled glass carafes that we put the water in, and then that's what people will buy for drinking water, and that really helps the plastic waste problem, and profits from that go directly to local communities and their water projects. So it's these really incredible design decisions that are made that then kind of affect you guys and your ability to choose and make the right decisions. I think we're going to open the floor to questions from you all.
Hi, Adrian. I just want to ask for the app. Is it possible that you can find any good burger joints on the app on your app?
What?
Any good burger joints?
I think so.
Definitely.
Do you know any specific burger joints that?
I don't know specifically, but if you go, eateries is one. The categories are eateries, farmers markets, farm stands. There's definitely restaurants that serve hamburgers that will probably be a little bit healthier than McDonald's.
Is In-N-Out on there?
I don't know if In-N-Out made the cut. We tried to stay away from fast food, but there are restaurants that will serve good burgers, I think. I love In-N-Out personally.
It's not the worst. It's actually
not the worst. And
I mean, that's the thing is, this is this is a process, and we really need feedback because there's no. We didn't want to be dictators telling you what you should and shouldn't eat. We wanted to give you options that weren't in your face and options that were healthier than what you're normally accustomed to. And of course, it's a scale. There's no absolute health. So it's really a matter of you making healthy decisions for yourself, but making sure that you have the options that you choose for yourself. So I think I'm gonna check that out. But
we should get the audience to check it
you're
out too.
You're making me hungry.
By the way, the app is free. I just want to mention that.
Yeah, so
It's a
download
free
it
app.
and start looking and let us know if there is a good burger place.
What is it?
Bear Burger on LaGuardia.
There you go.
There you go. There's a burger spot.
So the question is, how are you choosing your eateries per se? Because New York, for instance, is just loaded with restaurants. Is there a team that's going out and eating or reading reviews, or what's the deal?
We have a team. We have a team that's gathering data all over the country, has been for months. A lot of, some of them come from nonprofit lists, like all of the farmers markets in the country where we got the API from a particular source. There are farm to table organizations, NGOs that we've worked with that have cooperated with us. We've got the API, for example, from Chipotle. All the Chipotles in the country are in there. All the Whole Foods are in there under our markets. And then, as Adrian and I have been talking earlier, we're putting a big push to use the user-generated side of it, and it's a work in progress. It's not finished by any means, but it's really very much just research and scraping and looking around.
Got another question?
Yeah, the criteria. She asked if there's criteria. It's not a very extreme set of criteria. It's more healthier options to fast food. As I said earlier, it was inspired by being on the road and not knowing where the good stuff was. When you're smack in the middle of Manhattan, you might have a lot more knowledge and awareness of what's on around you, and it's not Yelp. But yeah, we've done a lot of the data that's come in has been researched, and then a lot of user-generated stuff. But check it out; you'll see what comes up, and yeah.
I'd just like to add, there are also healthy food experiences of the spirit. It's not all just, for your nutrition. Going to an artisanal farm and enjoying a meal that maybe have a little bit of butter in it, maybe a little too much butter, is, it's not something that we can really regulate. But what we can say is that if you look for alternatives, if you seek out experiences, and if you take responsibility for going outside of your comfort zone, I think you're bound to find those healthy experiences for the whole spirit, for the whole human, not just one aspect of who we are.
Hi, basically a follow-up question to that, because I've just looked, and like where my house is up in the country, you have nothing around there, and there are quite a few. So if I hit suggest, what happens after I fill in?
You put in that's where are you based? Where's
It's in
your
Sullivan County.
Great. We'd love to populate it. Put things in there, please.
But what happens after somebody puts something in
It goes to our team. They vet it out to make sure it's a good spot and that it's meets our criteria, which, as Adrian said, is not extreme health by any means. There's fine dining establishments in the app, and then we'll put it up. It'll go right in.
Yes.
Hi. I was wondering, is this app solely for the USA? And if it is, will you be going international because there are other places to cover?
It actually is international, and I was quite pleased to find out that actually worked. I've been getting text messages and emails from friends even Twitter, shout outs from Canada and
Well, those are user generated. We have not.
those are all user generated.
We have not put anything.
So it does work. Yes.
It does work, but the user generated aspect of it.
All of those are user
we
generated?
focused just on the U.S. though for now for our input. Yeah.
Take a trip.
If it's good,
Take a
will
trip,
you go
put it in.
further and go to other countries?
Yeah, we'd love to, but step at a time. There are a lot of iterations to go on food tripping. We hope.
Great. Good luck to you.
Hey, thanks.
Hi guys. I was wondering, what are some of your favorite suggestions that you put on the app? You could think of any off the top
Fat
of your head.
radish. I love the fat radish. It's
that's-
here in New York, farm to table. Great. It's a great spot.
I always like Angelica's Kitchen.
Hello. When I think of tripping, I start thinking of traveling. I start thinking of ethnic neighborhoods, different type of food. So is there a specific section for like the different healthy ethnic neighborhoods, or like an Indian food, where to buy spices? So I just start thinking international when I see something like this. So I'm wondering how much you're putting into that type of avenue.
We don't have a specific section for that, but we might down the line. It would fall under eateries in general. We have artisan food and artisan drink. So if there's an organic winery or a microbrewery, those have categories. Vegan and vegetarian has a category. But what you're suggesting, ethnic restaurants would fall under eateries, which is the main, the first category, at least for now.
Thanks. This is very inspiring. But you guys are filmmakers. How did you get involved in e-commerce, which is what the shift.com site is? And are you still sort of the visionaries of that? I'm trying to figure out what your role is within this empire that you're building that's so wonderful.
Well, we are filmmakers, but we wound up early on when we had done our TV show. We wound up curating a sustainable section for a Wired magazine pop-up shop in New York. We did 2 of those for them, and in building shift.com as a site, we felt that it was so exciting and inspiring to see the designs that were coming out in this space that we decided to curate a shop on our site, and it sort of slowly evolved from there into having a wine and partnering, as Adrian said, with people who bring something to the table that we don't bring. We are not e-commerce experts. We do have people who work with us who are, and it's kind of that sort of thing. Like, we're not making our wine, but we're certainly tasting it, and we're marketing it, and we're finding the blend that we personally like and going out with it. And it's a very it's a fun process. And again, it's an extension of the brand. Same with food tripping. We wound up working with this group, Jake Apps, and building this great app that they really were able to see through our vision, which is such a luxury to be able to have ideas that experts or people who are experienced in the area that you need that bring to the table. So those kinds of partnerships are pretty much the backbone of Shift's e-commerce side.
Yeah, I mean, we set out to do something very simple to tell the story of the positive shift towards a more sustainable future.
Stories, many stories.
Stories,
yeah.
But the larger story at play with everything together, and that's really a filmmaking instinct, I think, to tell that story and tell those stories collectively, and really it's producing. That's what we're doing. We're bringing the best people who already have that goodwill towards this shift and bringing them together to create projects like food tripping.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for sharing your stories. And please download the app and give them suggestions on your favorite places. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.